first electric guitar was a Strat copy by a brand called Axis. I've never ever seen this company anywhere else before or since. Bear in mind this was the late 80s, yeah, and it was a metallic red Strat copy with a black scratch plate, and it had a humbucker and 2 single coil pickups and a Floyd Rose type whammy bar vibrato system. And it, looking back at it now, it was probably actually a pretty cool guitar, but I didn't realise it at the time because I was only 9 years old. But yeah, that was my first guitar. That was my first electric guitar, and I thought that was the coolest thing on earth.
My first electric guitar was again a Strat copy. It was an Encore Strat copy. It was blue and it had a really it had a tortoise shell sort of pick guard and everything. And I'm really sad that I sort of had that guitar without ever really, because I'd learnt classically, so it was my first electric I'm talking about here. But I was really sad I never really used it properly. I was almost like, this means I can play the stuff I play on my classical guitar louder. So I was doing all this little finger-picked sort of single note stuff, and I never had the proper opportunity to just put it through an amp and drive the hell out of it. So that was my first electric guitar.
My first amp was a Semick combo. I'm not sure what the model name was. It was some sort of small little, 10 watt combo, beginner's combo. And once I figured out how to dial in some sort of distortion sound, it became then the coolest amp in the world, because it was just could get this real nasty transistor distortion going on with it. Had lots of fun with it, but certainly wouldn't use it now.
I'm going to tell you my first amplifier that wasn't, the standard one that you got in a pack, the 10 watt box. My first, oh god, I've forgotten about it. I was going to say it was a Marshall MG100 DFX, but it wasn't. It was a Laney. I think it was a Laney. It wasn't an LX30, the one with the little tribal pattern. It was the one just before that. So it was a 30 watt Laney. I remember I went into a shop in Reading. It was Hickey's in Reading, and the guy said to me, "Doesn't matter about what guitar you have, you've got to get a good amp." But I went and bought that one, and it was transistor. It had some lovely sort of tones to it, and you could drive the balls off it, and it had a really high fizz. And I'm feeling really nostalgic because I completely forgot about that amp until this minute. But yeah, my first proper big boy amp was a 30 watt Laney.
My first pedal was a Boss flanger, the purple one, the Boss, I think the BF2, maybe it's called the BF something. But yeah, the purple Boss flanger is a really beaten up one that I bought from my old guitar teacher, and I just used to love making the dive bombing airplane type sounds with it, and the crazy sort of mega, almost like Leslie rotating speaker sounds by turning the rate all the way up. No idea if it sounded any good in a band mix. I just liked the sound of it by itself. So that was lots of fun to experiment with.
I actually still have my first pedal. I haven't used it in years. I found it the other day. The story behind this, I wanted a wah-wah pedal, but I also, at the time, was about 11. I didn't have a lot of money. And infinite wisdom of an 11-year-old, I thought, why would I get a wah-wah pedal when I could get a multi-effects unit that does everything? So, my first pedal, a Zoom 5052 guitar. It's light as anything because it's obviously made of plastic, and it's got this, I can't even remember how to use it, but it's got a 2 numbered sort of bank system, and you can save loads of bits, and then you got your levels and all of that, and the types of distortion. Apparently it's got an acoustic distortion, which, I mean, John Butler-ish maybe. But yeah, this thing had, to me at the time, I thought it had everything, but now I realise it did have everything, but pretty much did nothing. I would sell it, but it's worth nothing. I've looked into it. I might be able to get about £10 for it, and that's if I'm willing to sacrifice postage fee. So probably pointless, but it still holds a special place in my heart. My first pedal, up and down, got little buttons. So yeah, this is my first pedal with a Zoom 5052.
Okay, a guitar I wish I'd never sold was a Yamaha Superflighter, which is kind of a double cut, almost kind of a mix between an SG, a bit more like a Paul Reed Smith custom. It was a 2 humbucker type guitar, solid body guitar. You don't see them very much nowadays on eBay. They're quite rare. Yamaha certainly don't make them anymore, and that's kind of why I wish I'd kept it, because it was kind of a unique instrument to have around, and it sounded cool and played nice.
What have I regretted selling most? Probably I had an Ibanez RGR 320 EX, so it was like a super strat. It had EMG designed pickups. It didn't sound great, and I didn't know really how to work a locking trem at the time when I got it, so that was a shock. You know, and I thought, oh, I'll tune this down to C, and then why are the strings resting on the pickups? What have I done? But I sold that actually because I wanted to buy a Strat, and I think it was a really good decision. However, part of me wishes I hadn't got that guitar, got rid of that guitar. Part of me wishes I had it and I could, you know, do it up now, put some better pickups in it, because it was a nice body. It had this ridiculous finish. It was road rage black, which it basically looked like tarmac, and felt like tarmac too. But it had a really cool on the flat necks and everything. So I mean, to be fair, I don't really regret selling too much. But if there was one thing, it would probably be that. If I could go and get one back now, I would.